The biggest pet peeve of mine in this entire industry, what I hate, and hate's a strong word, but I really do strongly dislike it. The only way to lose in this game is if you just quit. And so quitting is probably the worst strategy I've ever heard of.
Hello, fabulous person. Beate Gillette here, the Growth Architect. Welcome back to the Business Growth Architect Show, where we bring you cutting-edge business strategies from some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, business transformation experts, and visionaries who want to help you to scale your impact. Look for one tangible strategy that you can take back and implement right away. And now back to our guest. And hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your host, Beate Gillette, with another episode for the Business Growth Architect Show. And today I have an excellent, outstanding guest. His name is Akbar Sheikh. And I hope I didn't butcher your last name, because if I did, then you're just going to correct me in your own introduction. And Akbar is going to introduce himself. So tell us, what do we need to know about you?
Introduce myself. How would one introduce themselves? Let me think. Well, I'm an entrepreneur with a concentration of helping others make more so they can give more to their families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. We figured out a couple of strategies that when we've installed in our clients' businesses, all different niches all over the world, all different stages, they've collectively done over $50 million. Yeah, that's about it. I really like to leave a note that, you can never go poor by giving.
I love that. And we definitely going to be diving into that, because a lot of times I think people, when they talk about strategy, they think that strategy is something sort of really hardcore that is designed on paper. So let's talk about, what does strategy mean to you and your business and the way you run your life and your work?
It's very, very, very important. Big surprise to have a strategy. It's interesting. It's like, I'll give you, I know this is not about cryptocurrency or anything, but I'll give you kind of a cryptocurrency strategy of mine, for example's sake. One of my strategies is I'll go into a coin. For example, I did this today. I had a coin called Flux, Flux. And what I do is I go in there and I wait for it to double. So let's just say, I'll just use round numbers. So let's just say I put $1,000 in there. I'll wait for it to go to $2,000. Then I will take $1,000 out, all the profit, and I'll do something else with that. Usually, in my case, I reinvest all of it. I put it into another coin I like, or what have you. And then that other $1,000 that was in Flux, the original, I let that just sit long term. And I let it just sit there and I don't touch it. So that's my strategy. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's my strategy. One of my strategies of cryptocurrency. Why it's important to have a strategy, peace of mind, because anxiety is created with a lack of clarity. Because now you see, like I looked at my account and I saw Flux has more than doubled. What do I do here? Do I sell? Do I buy? Create confusion. And now I don't have clarity where I can build, I can develop. So as an entrepreneur, we need to protect our mental game. We need to make sure that we're in a good mental state, and we're not like confused. The worst feeling as an entrepreneur is to be like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, what am I supposed to do now? So to have that strategy and plan gives clarity, which gives confidence. And you see, it's a whole ecosystem, because having confidence is extremely important. I'll use that same crypto example. If I'm not too confident in something because I don't know about it, because I don't have a strategy about it, maybe I'll put $1,000 in it. Well, it doubled. Well, great. Okay, I made 2,000. So, who cares? Like, so what? I made $1,000. But if I'm confident in it and I had a strategy which gave me confidence, now maybe I could put 10,000 into it. Now I doubled. Now I made $10,000. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm just giving an example. But yeah, we can go on and on and on. But strategy is essential. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning wheels. You're going to be hustling. You're going to be in a state of anxiety and a lack of clarity. It's essential for peaceful growth.
I like that. Strategy is essential for peaceful growth. That's one I have not heard. I have not heard yet like that.
I like that one.
Cool. Yeah, you got to write that down yourself and reuse that.
Yeah.
So now, looking into what you do and how you help a lot of coaches and people in the coaching industry in all kinds of different areas to really make a much larger impact with their work. So what's your favorite strategy? Like, If I wake you up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and say, Akbar, come on, what's the number one thing that I need to do, everybody needs to do? What's your favorite strategy?
The truth is my favorite strategy is how do I word this? I don't want to say it's to not give up, but I want to say, again, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I'm going to keep going to blockchain analogies. But are you familiar with like NFTs?
Yes.
So I got into NFTs and I was naturally attracted to it because I used to collect baseball cards as a kid. And I got my butt kicked in NFTs. I put like 5 figures into a project and it went worthless overnight. I was scammed for thousands of dollars. I mean, I 90+% of the projects I bought into went to nothing. I mean, spending lots and lots and lots of money and stuff and it going to nothing. And it's a tough world. But I kept learning about it. I kept learning from it. And my strategy was to keep learning and to learn from those mistakes and to not give up. And now, for example, like I just bought, a bunch of NFTs, for those, hopefully you guys, I'll put it this way, for like $200. This is one example, like imagine a bunch of NFTs, like my buddy got 100 of them for $200 each. And now, a week or 2 weeks later, they're worth $2,000 each. Went up 1,000% in 2 weeks. And so it was a big hit for me. It was a big win, but that never would have happened if I were like most people, didn't have the strategy, didn't learn from it, gave up. It's so true. It's so true. You're really in business as well. I know this is not a crypto show. I keep talking about crypto, but as you can tell, it's a hobby of mine as of late. But in business, you're really only 1 or 2 moves from great success, meaning one awesome campaign, one awesome, called Black Friday sale, one awesome offer. Your whole life can change with 1 or 2 moves, but that's not going to happen if you're not learning from your mistakes and you give up. The biggest pet peeve of mine in this entire industry, what I hate, and hate's a strong word, but I really do strongly dislike it. The only way to lose in this game is if you just quit. And so quitting is probably the worst strategy I've ever heard of.
I think this ties really nicely in something that I always tell my clients. I say, you can't give up before the gift happens. And, and I think this is exactly what you're talking about, is that the comparison that I give is like you walk into a dark room, but there's a switch.
Yeah.
There is a switch.
Yeah. That's
right.
A good one. I like that. I might
you like that. Yeah. It's like, so it's there. And so you can throw yourself on the ground and throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Or you can crawl around on all fours and see where that light switch kind of might be and turn that thing on.
That's a good one. Can I do I have permission to steal that one?
Go ahead. You have my permission to steal that.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. No, I'm going to use that. It's so accurate. I want to give a caveat though. Sometimes in certain other situations, you do have to give up. Like I used to be in a terrible marriage and I kept trying and trying and trying and trying to make it work. And I tried for years longer than I should have tried. But that's a little different because you're not completely in a business. You're kind of, in a way, in a business, you're kind of completely in control in a way. Well, no. I'm sorry. Understand this. The concept of marriage, I didn't give up on, but that particular, I don't want to call it an offer or a project, but that particular relationship, it was definitely way overdue for me to give up on. Similarly, like you might be beating up an offer in your business and it's just not working. Dude, move on, do another offer. But don't give up. That offers, or the concept of offers, they work. That light switch is there. But it's okay to pivot. It's okay to move on from an offer as long as you don't just stop trying altogether.
I love that. I think that, so for our audience, let me just recap that. So I think there's 2 pieces here. So number 1 is perseverance and really recognizing that a lot of your ideas are good ideas. It just might not be in the right context yet. And so to refine the offer and to refine the pieces of it until you get the results, that is a given because not all of our ideas are great. I mean, I had great ideas. I decided I was going to launch an ebook company to do coffee table books as ebooks, right? Which is in theory a really brilliant idea. It's just that I would never walk into your house, Akbar, and look at your iPad on the coffee table and say, "Hey, can I look at the coffee table books on your iPad?" I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's not something how you would do. So I had to get to the point where, say, ebooks aren't generally a good idea, but coffee table books as ebooks are a horrible idea. So that didn't work. So it doesn't mean that the idea in general is bad. It may mean that your perception or your interpretation of this idea or this particular business idea might be about you and not about what your customer really wants. So have I recapped that somewhat correctly?
Yeah, I think so. I think you did a great job.
Okay, excellent. So a personal question. So you have said earlier to me that you are very focused on helping other people to make an impact and making the world better. You said that in your introduction. So this is the part of the interview where I want to go personal, because what's it about? Is it about money? Is it about impact? Is it about both?
Definitely both, no doubt. Impact first. And at the end of the day, man, it's like, I was going to leave this industry, actually. I just been doing it for a while. I've done, I think, most things that you can accomplish, all the typical kind of stuff people do in this industry, the TEDx talk, the best-selling book, the podcasts, the books, the speaking on stage, the getting clients, tons of results, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I've done a lot here. Maybe I'm just ready to move on. And I was like almost there. But then like a client of mine just had the most amazing story in the entire world. Her name was Michelle, and her child is autistic and couldn't speak. And the doctor said, well, your kid's not going to be able to speak. And she refused to believe that in true entrepreneurial fashion. So she developed her own system to teach her child how to speak. Not only did she teach her kid how to speak, but they ended up singing as well. Then Michelle took our frameworks that teach how to build a business, and she got a 6-figure trophy from us. And she helped families all over the world take their autistic child and help them speak for the first time. And to me, that was in my career, that is the most beautiful story I think I've ever heard of as far as success stories. And it just kind of melted me. And I'm like, you know what? All right, man, we got to go out there and just go get a bunch more Michelles. Because I'm like, that's impact. I'm like, that's cool. So yeah, it's definitely both. On the financial side, it's good. I've always been very fiscally irresponsible, truth be told. I need to probably focus on that this year just to kind of set things up maybe a little bit better, because I think it's our God-given responsibility, frankly speaking. I've just done a kind of a piss poor job at that. But I did start with nothing. So there's a little bit of a curve when you kind of start from nothing and you don't, you have to learn a lot of these things. Some people are born and they were raised in a particular environment where they know how to manage money and they come from big business. And that wasn't me. So I had to kind of learn a lot of these things, the hard way. So yeah, man, I mean, definitely impact first. Making revenue is important too, so that you can make more impact, really. So it's kind of an entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, one great answer I had in one of my interviews is somebody said, well, it depends where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, because you can't really make an impact unless you have the money down to some extent.
I really, very respectfully disagree with that. And I think that's a very big misconception. And that's kind of what my TEDx talk was about. A lot of people say, I'm gonna donate when I make it big. Or sorry, I'm going to give back when I make it big. And what I'm saying is you're not going to be able to make it big unless you give back. And here's the thing. I mean, I think that's a very unhealthy way to look at things, truthfully speaking. It doesn't matter. Your $5 might have more blessings and meaning if I was to give $5,000. You understand what I'm saying? Is that whatever you have, you give. So you only have $1, I don't care, give it. You don't have $1, fine, give time. You don't have time, fine, give somebody a smile, make somebody feel good, say something nice to somebody. Don't ever wait to give. Don't ever think that, when I make it big, then I'll give. Don't ever think that that's a very, very, with all due respect, not talking to you, of course, but that's really a whisper from the devil, that the devil's told to people this complete lie and fabrication, because the devil doesn't want you to do anything good. So he'll convince you these little things. Oh yeah, wait a while, wait till you make it, and then wait further down the journey, and then and again, whoever said that, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying it's a common thing it's a very, unfortunately, a lot of people have that thought in their mind. It's not your fault. It is from the devil. It is not a healthy thing, and it's not true. And I say it with love. You can never, ever, ever go poor by giving. Let me give you a very, very, very recent example. Today is Monday. I don't know when we're recording this on a Monday. Yesterday was Sunday where I am in Dallas. Just recently, somebody kind of came up to me and they said they're getting evicted and they need help with their rent. And frankly, I didn't know the person. They made a whole video. They made a whole GoFundMe page, and I watched a few minutes of it, and it was very sincere. And I was like, wow, this person really needs help, and they're really putting it all out there, and they have a whole GoFundMe page. And, they worked really hard on that GoFundMe page. By the way, a lot of people, they just throw something up and there's nothing there. But they worked really, really hard on that page. And I paid half the rent. And I'm kind of ashamed to say I only paid half the rent. I should have paid the whole thing. But the truth is, I didn't really know the person at all. Actually, I didn't know the person at all. And I didn't have time at that time to look further into it. You have to respect money too. And for some reason, she has a lot of rent money too. So I paid half, and I figured, she'll get there. Anyway, yesterday, it's Sunday, my sales team's off. The whole company's off. We don't really work on the weekends. And somehow sales team makes five figures in sales. And then somehow I also get some 5-figure over $10,000. It was $15,000 actually, or $14,000 free money from a crypto airdrop. A lot of people got it. My buddy got $400,000. It's real, by the way. It's just because I own some NFTs, and the NFT project creators was giving out free airdrops. So yesterday, just got a random $14,000. And my sales team, which was off on Sunday, they also made 5 figures. And right away, it came to me. I said, yeah, that's because I helped. That's because I helped that lady with the rent. Now you might say, well, I'm not in a position where I can help somebody half the rent. Well, like I said, I don't care. If you're in a position to give somebody $1, give $1. It's the same thing. Because like I said, your dollar might be more meaningful than me giving 5,000 or whatever. Or your smile to someone who's feeling down, that might be in God's eyes like much better than me giving $10,000. You know what I mean? So don't judge yourself. God judges you. Don't start judging yourself, and give whatever the hell you can. Because I promise you'll never go poor. I'll tell you this: I have real estate, mutual funds, gold, real estate. If you can guess, crypto, all this crap. I will tell you from personal experience, giving is by far the highest ROI investment of my life, of all the other things I just mentioned to you combined. I'm telling you, there's no better ROI than giving at any time and stage of your life. Don't ever wait for that gift.
I have to ask you this. When did you figure this out? The principle, the universal law of giving and reciprocity.
When did I figure this out? I don't know.
Was it like a moment where you had this epiphany
look, the truth be told, I mean, I come from a family of entrepreneurs generationally, for many generations back. And I think historically, it's a little bit of genetics too, to be honest with you, that historically our families are relatively giving. But that being said, the make more, give more movement that I started happened when, to be honest with you, I mean, it's not the greatest answer, but it was kind of always a natural thing for me. Even when I was selling cars, my life savings was in my back pocket, which was a few $100s. If it was great, maybe there was like $1,000. And, that's all the money I had, was just cash in my back pocket. And so, most of the time I had a couple $100. So I'd go out for dinner with some friends. I remember one time some cousins and friends, and the bill was only $50, but I only had like 200 to my name. And I said, hey guys, it's on me. And, that you're talking about 25% of my net worth, just getting it out there. You know what I mean?
Sweat pearls are forming on the forehead.
Yeah. But you see, the things I never cared. I never cared about money because I think I always grew up with the understanding that it always comes back. Because you ever ask a guy, hey man, like let's just say you go out for dinner with somebody or coffee with your friend and you forgot your wallet. And did you ever say, oh man, you got $5? And do you ever say, oh man, I wish you asked me 3 months ago, because 3 months ago I had $5, but you know what? I bought a burger and I haven't had any money since then. Like it's constantly replenishing. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah. No, I think that, I love that. The giving principle is, I agree with you. Everyone who is in a position of abundance understands the principle. There's just no other way around it. And you're absolutely correct. The other thing, when I explain this in my courses, I said, when you think about the protecting energy kind of goes down and the giving energy goes up. So the minute that energy is open and it goes upward and outward, now you're creating something different. When you protect, you just push it down. It kind of can't go anywhere. It can't grow. It kind of can't do anything. Absolutely fascinating. So for somebody now who said, I like this guy, how can I find out more about him? I want more of Akbar. Where do we send him?
Well, listen, we're at a stage in my career where we look for, we try, I'm not calling any, we look for people who are ready for success. And for many, many, many years, I was not ready for success. But at the end of the day, winners win with or without me. But with me, they just do it a lot quicker and easier and a lot more affordably. So what we do now is we look for people who want to win, people who want to make more to give more. And we actually partner with you. And me and my dream team work with you hands-on daily at installing frameworks that have helped our clients collectively do over $50 million. And we partner with you, working with you daily until you hit 7 figures guaranteed. Pretty cool offer for 2022. So if you want to see if you qualify or you want to jam with us a little bit, just go to my website, which is my name, akbarsheikh.com, akbarsheikh.com, and check it out.
Excellent. Well, and we'll also put that in the show notes. So for those of you who are interested in finding out more, you'll be able to do that. Any last parting words that you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, just remember, if you're an entrepreneur, you can be doing anything you want. Make sure that you're happy doing what you do. And if you're not, then do something else.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was awesome to have you on the show. I like your kind of chill vibe. That's very, very, very enjoyable interview. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. This was another episode of the Business Growth Architect Show. I am your host, Beate Gillette, the Growth Architect. Thank you so much for watching. And that's it for us today. Thank you for listening and watching the Business Growth Architect Show. I enjoyed having you here. And for accountability, just take one of the strategies that you have heard, one thing that you can implement in your business immediately. Please leave comments. Don't forget to like and share this show. And if you have any questions about business, please put them in the comments. We are here for you. We're here to support you and help you to grow, build, and scale your own business. For more advice, please check out our website in the show notes below. Thank you again. This is Beate Gillette, the Growth Architect, and goodbye.